Hello, welcome once again to Pale Blooms and Beyond. Thank you for joining us today. If you do like the programming you see here and the artists and musicians I visit with, please be sure and hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel. Terry McCusker is an English drummer who kept the beat in early bands Rip Van Winkle and the Rip It Ups and the Valkyries from 1963 to 64. The Roadrunners were a Merseybeat R&B band formed in 1961. Terry would join the band in 1965. The band released a couple of albums recorded at the Star Club in Hamburg, as well as several singles. You can also find many of the band's songs on a 1999 Bear Family Records compilation with many other bands from that era. Next came Colonel Bagshot with Brian Farrell, Ken Parry, and Dave Dover. See my interview with Brian from June 14th of this year. The unit released one album, 1971's Oh, What a Lovely War, along with several singles. The band's song 6-Day War has enjoyed more recent success, being sampled and remixed by various artists. More recently, Terry is playing live with Liverpool's Nowheremen. Well, welcome, Terry.
Hi, how are you, Greg?
Very good. Thanks for asking. Well, take us back to the beginning. Were you born in Liverpool?
No, I was born in Birkenhead, which is just over the water from Liverpool, a bit like New Jersey and New York.
Okay. All right.
I went to school, went to grammar school, like the Beatles, really, apart from Ringo. Same sort of school. And I left school in 61, summer of 1961. And I went to work in Liverpool. And on my very first day there, a buddy of mine came and took me out for lunch and said, I'm going to take you somewhere to see a band. So Monday lunchtime, bands, Liverpool.
Yeah.
So right, he dragged me around the corner from where I was working, and we went to this dungeon. And it was, as you've guessed, it was the cavern.
It was the cavern.
And I went down the stairs, this very gloomy, sweaty, smelly place. Down the stairs, which quite precipitous stairs. 2 steps at the bottom, and then my ears were assailed with the sound of the Beatles playing Memphis, Tennessee. And I was sold from that minute.
From that minute on. Well, go back just a little bit when you were younger. Were either one of your parents musically inclined at all?
My mum and dad were all, they listened to all sorts of music.
Okay.
Opera, country music. I love country music, by the way.
Okay.
And so, I was brought up with a very varied musical education.
Okay. You any siblings?
No, just me.
Okay. Yeah, so you had those the music being played in the house, and I guess you listened to radio probably.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Lots of Americans. My mum used to love the Ink Spots. I don't know if you remember the Ink Spots.
Yes.
So I really got into black music from listening to them. And my dad loved, he loved all sorts of music, but he did like country music. And so from him, I got the Guitar Boogie by Arthur Guitar Boogie Smith.
Yes.
I remember that, and I think it was on an MGM, yellow MGM label.
Yes.
I've still got that somewhere, that record.
Do you? Okay.
There's not much left of it, but I've still got it.
I was going to ask you about some of the early records and things. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah. So your mom.
And funnily enough, it was listening to Guitar Boogie by Arthur Boogie Smith that I started to like drums, even though there are no drums on the record, but it's got this fabulous persistent beat running all the way through it. Yeah. And I thought at the time, that needs a drum beat in there.
Yeah. You could hear that even early on like that. Yeah.
So
the drums were your first instrument. correct?
No, the drums were, well, violin was my instrument at
Oh,
school, but
okay.
that was dreadful, because it sounded like it was strangling. So
Uh,
that wasn't
yeah.
very good. I just hated it because, I mean, I love the instrument. Violin is a fabulous instrument, but when you're not very good at it, it sounds awful.
Right.
But you can learn to play drums in a day, really.
Yes.
Might be
Yes.
very good, but you can still do it.
Yes. Yes. I've heard stories of learning the violin and people not really taking to it too well. Yeah.
No.
Or taking lessons and the teacher is too strict and
Yeah.
it's too regimented and not wanting to kind of branch out and do your own thing. Okay, well that's interesting. So how old were you when you first started playing drums?
17. I was just 17.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was to do probably with the Beatles, but Pete Best was playing drums.
Yeah. Right.
And when I went to see the Beatles, I mean, they weren't famous then. They'd just come back from Hamburg for the second time, and not in those first 6 months, but from July up to Christmas. Not very many people came to the lunchtime sessions, although it did increase over time. And when I saw the Beatles, and especially Pete Best, and all the girls were screaming for Pete Best. So I thought, hang on, loads of girls hit drums. That could be my life.
That's the perfect combination right there. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, could you were they screaming too loud where you could hear the band though? They weren't screaming too loud, the girls.
They were, sorry?
The girls weren't screaming too loud that you could still hear the band, right?
At first they weren't, but it definitely became a thing.
Right.
And they loved Pete Best, absolutely. I loved him more than Paul McCartney.
Wow.
They used to look between McCartney's legs and say, Pete, Pete.
Yeah, Pete's a good-looking guy too, So.
He was, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the Beatles. Can you remember any other early concerts, live shows that you went to see bands?
Well, it was the time just as Merseybeat was kicking in. So any night you could go and watch. There were multiple places, multiple venues. So you could go and watch Jerry and the Pacemakers, the Remo 4, the Searchers, the Undertakers, and there'd be maybe 4 or 5 bands on each night. And it was just a fabulous time.
Yes.
Absolutely wonderful time.
Yes.
And it stayed like that for about the next 3 years, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And then it came to an end and petered out.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the Searchers. I spoke with Frank Allen, who was in the band a little later on, I guess.
Yeah.
And he had some nice stories. But yes, all that Merseybeat, I was eating that up, as soon as I became aware of it and started collecting as much as I could. Wow, that's very interesting. Yes. Well, what was the other thing I was going to ask you? You just said something that rang a bell. Some of those other bands. Oh, I know what it was. Yeah, you guys, like you said, just about every night there was somebody playing, and here it's always been, so few and far between here in Texas, that we get,
Right.
Concerts. It's not every night. It's definitely not every night. So I'm envious. I'm envious of you guys over there that you could just, and they were affordable too. A lot of them very cheap too.
Oh yeah, it was just I don't know, about 5-10 cents or something like to see the Beatles, if you remember.
Yeah.
In the lunchtime sessions, it was fabulous. It was terrific. But I was also, and I still am, a huge fan of a fellow Texan to you, and that's Buddy Holly.
Oh, okay.
Massive Buddy Holly fan.
Right. I've heard that with so many of you guys over there. cite him as an influence, and
Yeah.
just yeah, loved his material. Well, that's good to know, because yeah, he was very influential. And
I think it was, oh yeah, it was 2008, I think. I had a call from a friend of mine um, called Dave Williams, who used to be a member of the Remo 4, which you probably wouldn't know the Remo 4, but
yes, I do.
they were a great band.
Yes.
And he rang up and he said, "You're a Holly fan, aren't you?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Could you go and fill in tomorrow afternoon at the Cavern, just do a session for somebody?" And I said, "What they play?" He said, "Oh, it's all Buddy Holly stuff." I said, "Okay, yeah, I'll go down." So I went down and I met these two guys, and they were American. And one of them was Tommy Allsop, and the other one was Johnny Rogers.
Really? Is that right? Is that right? Okay.
And Tommy Allsop, I knew, I didn't know he was there, but I knew the name because Tommy Allsop was Buddy's guitarist, and he played on the sessions of "It's So Easy" and "Heartbeat." And
Right.
Johnny Rogers was a brilliant Holly impersonator. So we did that. We did the gig, and that was it. And I had a great time. And then the following year, I was coming over to the Holly 50th anniversary, in Iowa.
Yeah. Oh, right.
And I went in, and on the first day, and who should be standing there but Tommy Allsop and Johnny Rogers. And they said, "You've got to come and play with us." I said, "Okay." So that's what I did.
And you got to play with you played with them again. Okay.
Yeah. And so I played at the ballroom, the surf ballroom, and then we did a couple of other gigs, part of the Holly tour. I think Waterloo Village, or in Iowa. I played there with them. So that was just a spin-off from some of the, again, at the Cavern. You bump into somebody at the Cavern, and that's happens. Yeah.
Right. And then years later, wow.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. I like to hear stories like that. Right. Kind of a reunion for you in a way.
Yeah.
What was Rip Van Winkle and the Rip It Ups your first band?
No, I had a couple of other bands before that, but with guys from school.
Okay.
And funnily enough, later on, when I joined the Roadrunners, two of the guys from the Roadrunners were from my year at school.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
It was a very strange situation. Everyone knew everyone else then.
Okay. Well, we'll pick up the story with Rip Van Winkle and the Rip It Ups. How'd you guys get together?
We were all playing in different bands, and we had a singer who he was a cartoon-esque figure, and he was a short guy with a shock of red hair.
Yeah.
And but he had a voice like Little Richard.
Oh. Okay.
So that was the attraction. So that's what we did. We just played Little Richard songs.
Okay.
And then we were picked up and we went to Germany, and we played in Braunschweig and Hanover and a couple of other places. When we came back, there wasn't any work basically in Liverpool then. Everything dried up. And a couple of the guys were married, so they jacked in with the band. And I went and joined the Valkyries then, and I went to France with them, and there was lots of work around. So lots of work in Europe.
Okay.
So that's what I did.
That's interesting. Yeah, playing Germany, like you said, a lot of the UK bands that go there. There was more of a response, more fan base over there than even at home.
Yeah, and also we played a lot of basses. Played American basses in France. Before De Gaulle kicked everyone out, but that was really good.
Right.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, and the French and German fans were gaga for the music, weren't they?
Yeah. Yeah. I think English bands have always done well in Europe. And of course, Slade, where, you know, that's something else. But you might want to talk about Slade later on.
Okay, I definitely will. Definitely. I see the picture behind you. You have encased behind you.
Yeah, I've got a Slade album. I'm waiting for
Yeah.
Don Powell to sign it for me.
Oh, is that right? Oh, wow. I could have, if I had known that, I interviewed Don. I interviewed
Yeah,
Don.
he
I
told
would,
me.
yeah, I did. I would have asked him at that time, if I had known that. If I had known that. Well,
He's in contact with me anyway. So, but
okay.
he lives in Denmark, so
Yes, yes, he
don't
does.
really get a chance to see him very often.
That's true. Yes, he does. Wow. Okay. Well, the Valkyries, you joined replacing a departing drummer, one drummer that was leaving, and then you joined.
That was usually the way. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
he went into bands.
Right. And then how long were you with that band? Just that year? Just
I think so. Yeah, around about then. And a bit later on, I came back to Liverpool, and I met up with Dave Dover from Colonel, who we became Colonel Bagshot.
yeah.
Um, and that was an interesting. But you've spoken to Brian about that, haven't you?
Yes, yeah. Yes, I
Yeah,
did. Yes, I did. What a
lots of
character.
stuff.
What a character, Brian. I
Oh
tell you.
yeah,
Wow. Well, how did you come to join the Roadrunners?
the Roadrunners,
Yeah.
because I was doing quite well in other bands, and their drummer was leaving, and I think I mentioned there were two guys that was in my year at school,
Cool.
so they just said come and play with us. So I did that, and but it was mainly to work abroad. And once again, we were in Frankfurt, I think, and Cologne, and then we went to Switzerland, and we had a winter season there. Yeah, that's what we're doing. And
Go ahead.
funnily enough, when Roadrunners came to an end, and the guys were going back to work summer season, but I'd already done this winter season, and I didn't fancy going back. I like to change and go to other places, do other things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I came back, I met a roadie that I knew called Baz. I didn't know what I was going to do next. I said, "Oh, I was looking for you." I said, "Oh, why?" He said, "Well, there was an audition, and quite a lot of drummers were invited to go." I thought, well, auditions in London. I mean, there's 100 drummers there, and 99 of them are better than you. That's the way I.
Oh, yeah. Right.
So I said, "Okay, well, when's the audition?" So it's gone now. So I said, "Oh." I said, "Well, who was it with?" He said, "It's a black guy, guitarist, just come over from America."
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah.
And yeah, it was.
I know who you're talking about. Wow. Wow. To audition with him.
Yeah,
That would have been something.
it
Wow.
would have just been great to play for 2 minutes with Hendrix, wouldn't it?
Right. In the same room, in the same vicinity with him. Wow. Yeah. I've heard
Yeah.
some interesting stories about Jimmy. Wow. Well, yeah, post Roadrunners, Mike Hart would form Liverpool Scene with Andy Roberts. And
Yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned I visited with Andy on my channel
Oh no.
October last year. So it's been like a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He had some nice stories and recollections too.
Yeah.
All right. We'll get up to speed with Colonel Bagshot with Brian. How that all came to be.
Well, it was Dave, the bass player, myself, and a road manager called Colin Ben, who was quite famous around Liverpool and very well liked. And it was Dave's idea to put a band together that did different things, different types of music. So, well, okay, yeah, and original material as well.
Yeah.
So we actually put it together, and I played with him for about 8 years, I think, or something like that, off and on.
Okay.
And also Kenny. and we did, well, I think Brian, did he tell you about the album we did, the Bagshot album?
Yes, yes, he did.
Um,
But go ahead. I mean, I want to hear your recollections too, because everybody's is different.
right, it was, well, once again, we were going to Germany backwards and forwards, and we were on the road virtually all the time. We didn't get any, we did tours. I mean, I did 3 tours with Dave and I and Kenny. Brian had left by that time. He'd gone to make an album in Los Angeles, I think. And we, although he was with the first Slade tour, so we did, each one was 6 weeks each tour. So we did, I and Dave and Kenny, we did 3 tours with them, and they were while all over Europe. It was always a hard slog. So we did 3 6-week tour basically with them, and then just before that, we'd done the album, and for 30 years we couldn't get arrested with the album. Nobody
Yeah,
wanted at all. And
yeah,
and then it was somebody, a DJ Shadow,
yeah,
actually got hold of that
yeah,
and
yes.
did his own thing to it, and sort of, and since then it's gone over the last 20 years, it's gone absolutely haywire, and tons and tons of people have put their own versions together. Lots of DJs. In fact, one guy, a Turkish guy called Mehmet, had done a recording of it, and I just noticed it's had 355 million hits
Wow.
on YouTube. It's just ridiculous, and that
That
was
is,
something. Yeah, it
yeah,
was Brian recorded. Brian wrote it, and we just, we did our bit, and it was done in about an hour and a half, I think,
yeah.
in London in 1971, and then that was the end of the band, really.
Well, yeah, yeah. You guys weren't together, yeah, yeah.
No, we had come back and playing, and yes, we did that. But I mean, we're still friends. Well, Dave sadly's passed away, but I talk to Brian all the time.
Yeah, yeah. You still
So,
stay, yeah, in contact. You got, that's what he told me too. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I was trying to locate that. I couldn't. I picked up on one of the songs from you guys from a various artists compilation.
recorded by so many people now that
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
amazing. It's taken on a life of its own.
I was gonna say a
I
life of
just
its own.
Eminem has recorded it as well.
No, it, like you said, it's extended the life of the track.
Yeah.
Wow, wow. Well, yeah, you guys did, you toured quite a bit and played. Uh, any live shows? Were you on the tour with Slade? Did you play with them?
With
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 Slade? With Slade? When you
yeah,
okay. Okay.
um, yeah, we did. We did support the support band
Yeah.
for Slade, and so we were. It was great really, because we went on early and we were finished by about 8:30.
Okay.
So we went out, had a ball
Yeah.
just about every place in Europe that we stayed at.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Which is
Did you
really
get
good.
to socialize with the band, Slade?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, we're still good friends with Don, and
Yeah.
I saw Noddy last year.
Oh, did you?
Uh,
Okay.
so
Okay.
I got a picture taken with him, and haven't seen Jim Lee. Haven't seen him.
Okay. Okay.
He doesn't come around, but we did go and see the later edition of Slade with Dave Hill playing with him a couple of
Oh,
years ago.
yeah. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, who are some other name drop some other bands that you toured with or played on the same bill as?
Well, at that time, we used to play a lot of universities, so we'd be on with play lots of sort of big names, on the bill with them, and there was just tons of them. I can't remember half of them, to be honest.
Okay.
But yeah,
that's all right. I thought maybe if they were on the top of your head, top of your tip of your tongue, as it were. Well, 6 Day War. What do you think that's led to it becoming so popular, especially lately? What do you think about the song?
Well, it's very it seems to have taken a life of its own, and the words are very good. You know, it's a if you listen to the actual verses, you know, it sort of reflects the state of the world that we're in now. I mean, you know, we thought we wouldn't be talking about nuclear bombs,
Yes.
you know, in the 2020s that we are. Right. And yet the world's in a bad place. And so at the start of the week, you know, as the thing progresses, it gets to a doom at the end, and we hope we avoid that. But the song is quite graphic in its detail.
Yes, it is. I can see that would be very much, you know, in the public's awareness. You know, that those kind of, like you said, that kind of a song, and I think it will probably continue to be unless things turn around. You know, and especially in the political arena. You know, so hopefully, you know, I would just say, you know, say a prayer for us over here, especially. It's affecting the whole world, but you know.
It is, yeah. You guys are having a hard time as well.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, and because of the popularity of the song, you guys would reform and for occasional gigs.
We can't now. Dave was such an important member of the band. He came up with the riff, the bass guitar riff.
Yeah.
And Kenny can't perform anymore. He's unwell, really. So it's just Brian and I.
Yeah. Yeah. But you did for a while there when everybody was healthy. You did get to play together. Yeah. Yeah. Well, after the band broke up in '74, you, Dave, and Ken played in Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of music? What did you guys play? What kind
we called ourselves Nickelodeon because Nickelodeon is an old type of jukebox. So things were pretty bad in 1973 in England. Just actually, it's like it's happening again. We're overtaxed, underpaid, problems with energy. We had coal miners. It was just a bad time, and there wasn't any work around. So we just were playing in a trio, which was Kenny, Dave, and myself, and we were quite popular. And so we worked every day and twice on Sundays, basically, for a couple of years. That's what we did.
Yeah. Did you record any material?
No, we just did covers. That's all we did. We were called Nickelodeon, and so anyone that shouts a number up, and we go, yeah, okay, we play that. We do that. So,
right. But you were popular, yeah. Well, yeah. You mentioned that. You know, it seems like a life goes in cycles, doesn't it? You know, and it's like we seem to have a problem learning from history, don't we?
Yeah.
But we keep making the same mistakes over and over.
Absolutely.
You know, we do, and it's mind-boggling to think about it. But yeah, you know, we won't go down that rabbit hole too deep with Trump. But you know, just seeing how, I mean, it's basically, you know, the Putin or the Hitler game plan is what he's copying, and people cannot see that. You know, there's all those millions of people that still defend him every day. It's mind-boggling. Being in a cult, I've never been in one, so I don't know that mindset. You know, I can't understand that. But you know, hopefully we'll see our way through that. He can't be in power forever. it's just
No.
eventually he's going to die or, be ousted. So,
Yeah,
hopefully sooner than later. But
absolutely.
anyway, uh, well, how did you? Here's one blast from the past. How did you become involved in Bunny, and who else was in the band?
Once again, it was the trio of Kenny, Dave, and me. And she was from London, and she got up on stage with us one night, and then that was it. Went down a storm. So we took her on board, and that was it. So, and then we were offered another tour with Slade, so we went and did that. Because I think they liked us, and Chas Chandler liked us.
Yes.
And yeah, so
Yeah.
so we went and did that. But she was, yeah, how do I say? I've got to be careful what I say. But let's just say it didn't work out.
Okay. Well, you did record the single "Baby You're Getting to Me."
Yeah, we just did that one.
Just a one-off single.
It
Yeah,
was supposed to be a disco thing that Chaz had come up with,
right.
and so
That was the era. Yeah,
yeah.
disco era. Wow. Okay. How interesting. Yeah. Well, what did you do after Bunny? What did you do?
I think I packed in for a couple of years, for a year or so, and then I was in London, and funnily enough, we're talking about Chas Chandler. His secretary saw me. She was on the bus, and went into work and said to Chas, "Oh, I just saw Terry walking along." I said, "Oh, right. We need a band to back Eric Burden." So, because he was in the Animals with Eric Burden.
Yeah.
So they rang round, they got me, and said, "Can you come with Kenny and Dave and just put a band together? We've got a keyboard player and we've got another guitarist. So can you do that? Just to do a tour with Eric Burden." So I said, "Yeah, we do that." So we did that.
Oh, you did that? How long did that last for?
It was just like for half a year, I think. He came over. We went to Montreux, did the jazz festival there, and we did a tour of Britain and a couple of other gigs as well. And then he went back to America.
Yeah.
And then the lads stayed on. I think they played with somebody else or whatever. But I forgot what I went and did then. Oh, I came back to Liverpool. That's right. And I put a band together called Thunderboots.
Oh, okay.
And I was with them for about 2 or 3 years. Yeah.
All right. We'll talk about that time in your life.
We did. We recorded just once, really. We did a track called "I Remember Lucy," which, funnily enough, came. I think it was last year. It was used in a teeny bop American program. I don't know what the name of it was, but it was used in that, and that was the only time I'd heard it played. Really, it wasn't a hit in England, so that was it. Then after that, we sort of went our own ways, I think, basically.
Okay. Well, have you ever been to the Isle of Lucy? Have you ever been there?
Of where?
The Isle of Lucy. Have you ever been to the Isle of Lucy?
No. I thought I
Did you
was going to go to Lucia. Lucia, is it?
Did you see the first Spinal Tap, the Spinal Tap movie? Did you see the
Oh
first?
yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, was that one of us?
No, the first one. They said they played the Isle of Lucy, and it's I love Lucy.
I'm Lucy. Sorry, yeah,
No, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right.
I love Lucy.
When you mentioned Lucy, I thought of that.
Yeah. Funny, somebody was just saying.
It got me too when I saw it first time. It got me. The new one's out. coming out or it's out. The second one.
I
It's
haven't seen it yet, but
yeah.
I'd like to go and see it.
I haven't either. I know Paul has a cameo and Elton John are in it. They're
Okay.
both in it. So yeah, and they all look haggard. You know, they're old now. So you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't
So
know how they could follow that. I mean,
I know. I don't think they could top it.
yeah,
I'd be interested to see if it comes anywhere close to the first one. But
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Well, who is Ben Rees?
Sadly, Ben died
Oh,
about 6 or 7 years ago, or maybe about a bit more.
okay.
And he's a country singer. And I just loved playing with him, and he was a real. And we used to go once again. We go to Europe and we play around Britain, and so I was with him for a few years, which was a very enjoyable time for me.
Yeah,
Because you know, with family reasons, sometimes you can't go away.
yeah,
You know, you can't do this, you can't do that, so you have to cut your cloth to suit. You know, and that's.
yeah.
I having trouble with my dad. He wasn't too well, so I had to look after him. Yeah, so that's
Yeah, well, I read that he had some really strong pipes, a really good voice, really good singing voice.
yeah.
Ben.
He had
Oh,
good, yeah, good strong voice. But it was very sad, really, that he passed away so well.
yeah.
So he should have stayed on better. But he was a smoker, you know, which is like,
Yeah,
you know, that's probably why he had that voice.
yeah. It gives you that deeper voice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Well, you played on the album "Hanging On."
Oh
Uh,
well, that was a scrappy thing that we did somewhere. It was not very good at all. It was just a
oh,
knock together thing.
was it okay?
Yeah,
All right, and that was like in the '80s. He said, "Yeah,
yeah.
yeah." All right. Well, let me ask you, skip over that. Uh, what keeps you busy these days, or what after Ben Rees? Pick up your story. What happened? What happened after Ben Rees?
I'd been doing some work for a television company, um, and some bit of session work and stuff like that. Or if they were doing any concerts, um, they'd call me in and I'd play on the concerts and what have you. And then there was a series coming up that was called "And the Beat Goes On," which was recorded, set in pre 1954, I think it was, Liverpool, and they said, well, you were around in the '60s, which when it was set, and so I knew a lot about that. They said, can you sort the musicians out? Can you sort, which you're all young guys, obviously,
Yeah.
and also all the instruments. So they took me on for that, and I did that. It was that series. It was quite a long series, and then they asked me to stay and do other work for in the sound department there. So that's
Oh,
where. So I
okay.
was there, and at that time, my father was pretty bad, so I was looking after him and working at the same time. So I didn't do much playing at that time as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, are there clips of those on YouTube? Uh,
Um, it might be, and the beat goes on.
yeah, and the
Yeah,
beat is on. Okay.
yeah. And funnily enough, it was I met when I was there one of the guys in the sound department who worked in the dubbing suites. Was Alex Kane, and he's a drummer as well, and also a big Beatles fan like me. And at the time, there was jokes going around about Ringo, saying he wasn't the best drummer in the Beatles and all this thing. And
Yeah.
we were a bit miffed about this, Oh, no,
Yeah.
he's getting a bad review here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we said, I know, let's write a book.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
that's what we did.
you did.
So,
Okay.
so we wrote a book, and I have it here.
Yeah, sure. Show that.
And the beat goes on.
Beatles beat, the beat. I think I might have seen that before online or something.
Yeah.
Image of it. Okay, all right. And when did that come out? When was that published?
Well, of course, it's been about 7 or 8 years now.
Okay.
But it still sells. I think we're sending some stuff over to America now, because America, you know, with all the tariffs and everything, it's really hit guys, you know. So
yeah,
you've got to pay for it up front, and you don't know if they're going to sell, and the actual amount that you get from a book is like negligible now, you know.
Right.
But we do have to send some out, I know, so we will be doing that. But it was because of that I really got back into Beatles, and just because we analysed everything, you know, and it was fabulous. You know, it was really good. It was a really good experience. Yeah, everyone should write a book at some point.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard that from the ones that have written books that it is.
I wouldn't do another one though.
Did it take
Once
too much? Did it take too much out of you to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we went sort of on the road with that. We used to go to the Beatles Fest in Chicago, and also in New Jersey. I'm just going to hang out with Beatles fans over there.
Oh, okay.
I'm very much Beatles fan, as you see. I've got a Ringo. Ringo drum kit, exactly the same. I've got the kit. I don't play it often. I don't play that at all, really. But it's the same kit that they recorded the first 2 albums on.
Oh, the very one. The very one.
This isn't the one, but it's one exactly the same.
Okay, like a replica. Okay, right.
Nobody knows where that kit has gone, by the way.
Is that right? Is that right?
And you can tell from the old photographs, because of you see the straws are here. It differs on every drum. So when you see Ringo, if you can match that up with the photo, it'll be worth a lot of money.
Oh, tell me about it. Yeah, you know, like you said, Ringo. There was a lot of criticism of his drumming, like you said, but he was perfect for the Beatles. I mean, the ideal drummer for them. You know, so
all the top drummers in the world acknowledge Ringo's playing, and they some of the top guys as well. They say this guy, he could groove, you know, and that was it.
Right. Well, speaking of the Beatles, I did an interview with a guy, Paul Levinson. You probably don't know the name, but he's American, who's written an alternate history novel. It's real life, an alternate history of the Beatles. Have you heard of that? Have you heard of that? Yeah, and he talks about what if they all survive, you know. It picks up the story where the Beatles broke up in '70, and then after, you know, let's say John wasn't murdered, you know, so what would have happened? You know, let's say they all, you know, and George, of course, still. So it's like an alternate story. You know, what if
nice idea.
These things hadn't happened? But I think it's gotten a lot of mileage. It seems like from what he said. You know, a lot of people. So it's like the Beatles are still around. You know, what would they be doing today and things like that. So interesting. Wow. Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you real quick. Let me see if I had that. Talk about. You said you're still in contact with Don Slade.
Yes.
Yeah. And but of course, the distance. It's hard to get together or do anything. So
it is. Yeah. But the invitation's always there for, you know, for me to stay. He's stayed with us as well in the past. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Really nice guy.
Yeah, he
what
is.
you see is what you get with him.
But that's true. That's very true. You know, he's one of those that I reached out to and I said, well, he won't want to do an interview. I just said, but I'll do it. And sure enough, yeah, He's one of those surprising ones. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
He and Chris White, the Zombies, was another one that I thought, well, he's not going to want to, but yeah,
yeah.
he did. So you go ahead.
Have you spoken to Gary Astrich, who is
No.
Ringo's go-to guy?
Okay.
I'll put you in touch with him.
Okay. Yeah.
Super guy.
What has he done, or what's his history?
Great guy. He loves the Beatles. He's a drummer.
Yeah.
And he put together all of Ringo's kits himself.
Oh, okay.
Also like this.
Yeah. Okay.
And put it online with all the information.
Yeah.
And I think it might have been Ringo's guy, his manager, maybe it's Scott or whoever it was, saw this information. And Ringo had been thinking what had happened to his drum kit.
Yeah.
His old drum kits.
Yeah.
And so they contacted Gary and said, you seem to know a lot about Ringo's drum kits. Come and have a chat. So they have a chat.
Oh.
In the end, they found out where Ringo's kits, because he had about 4 Ludwig kits, different sizes, and they were in storage in London in not very good condition, where they were affected by damp and what have you. Yeah. It's a terrible end, to these lovely kits.
Sure.
So Gary was tasked to sort it out. So they went to America, and Gary took them apart, cleaned them, brought them back to life, basically.
Yeah.
And eventually, about 5 years ago, there was a massive sale, and Ringo sold his house in London, big house, and also his collection of drums. Because he's very charitable, Ringo. So it was done for the Lotus charity, which is him and Barbara's charity, and all the money went to them. Well, the kit that was used on the Sullivan show, that went for $2 million.
Wow. Wow.
The drum head that was used, that went for $2 million as well.
Oh my goodness.
So Gary does a lot now with Ringo, and I think he's on a very friendly basis, So he won't kiss and tell.
He's not that.
But he's a super guy, and he'll tell you his story. Super guy.
Yeah.
All drummers are super guys.
Right. Yeah. That would be nice if you could put him in touch or see if he's available. Yeah,
I'll contact him for you.
Who do you think will be the last Beatle standing?
Do you know, I think I saw a vid of Ringo on his latest tour, jumping around on stage, literally jumping around on stage. How he doesn't do drugs, he doesn't do alcohol. I think he lives on broccoli. So I've got to say, I'll go for him. But then you've got Paul, who I don't think he smokes anymore. I don't think so. And of course, he's a vegetarian. So he's quite healthy as well, isn't he? I hope they both go on forever.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I lean towards Paul. I think Paul will, simply because of do you remember back in the mid '60s, there was that rumor, that hoax that Paul is dead.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that? I think it started over here, and that some guy had pretended to be him that looked like him after that. So that for that reason alone, I think since it was said that Paul was dead, you know, to be the first one to die, I think he'll be the last one. That,
Yeah.
You know, ironic like that. So, but we'll see. You know, we'll see.
He still comes to his brother's house, which is not far from here.
Oh, okay.
He came, was it last year? I think it was last year, maybe the year before. And he walked to like a place called Parkgate, which is near us. And he just walked along the front, you know, in daylight with no squad of protection around him.
No bodyguards or anything. Wow. Yeah. So, Mike, right? His brother
Mike's
Mike?
his brother, yeah.
Yeah.
He lives not far from here.
Right. And he went by, was it McGinnis instead of McCartney? Mike, what did he used a different name.
Mike McGear, he was called.
That's McGear. Yeah, and recorded some solo.
And we used to back him in the band called Thunderboots. We used to back him as well, and we did a television thing with him as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was in the Scaffold also.
That's right. Yeah.
So that's
he hasn't got the vocal talents of his brother, you know, but
right.
He hangs in there. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Wow. Okay. Yeah. There's pictures of the two of them together online. All right. Well, can you think of anything else, Terry, that we might have overlooked or that you'd like to mention, or and thinking back, or anything else that's going on today?
I will do when we finish.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I think most people are, you know.
Yeah.
I'll say, oh, I should have asked him that, or I had a note to ask and I forgot. Yeah. So that happens.
Yes. It was great talking to you because Don said, "Oh, you'll like this guy." I said, "Okay, fine, yeah, you say so."
You say so. You trust it.
Sometimes you get you think a bit weird. You think, "Oh God, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I want to do this, I want to do that." You know.
Right. Yeah, you get exactly, but you can trust his judgment. Yeah. And he told me, he said, "Yeah, you'll enjoy Terry. He's, you know, he's a humorous guy, and he's got some good stories." And I know Brian is as well. I think it's something about maybe the Liverpudlian sense of humor too, you know, or the UK sense of humor in general that I enjoy. You know,
I think I think it's very much a Liverpool thing because you've got to have the they take the mick out of you, you know, which is like
right. Yes.
Yeah. I don't need to say what the Americans will say because that you do. You've got to be able to take it and give it as well.
Right.
And it makes everything go a lot more smoothly if you do.
Yeah. We have a president that he cannot do that. So sadly,
we've got a prime minister like a wind up doll.
Yeah. Right. I know it mirrors. I know what's going on here mirrors. You know, they're same similar kinds of things. So we just have to, you know, press on and hopefully with the midterms coming up here next year, hopefully we can get a majority in the House and the Senate, and if we do, then we can impeach. You know, hopefully that's the goal. You know,
well, yeah.
Not saying he may have to be forcibly removed. You know, I don't know. The way he's talking, he wants to stay in power forever. So it's a sad.
Like Putin.
Yeah, it's like an upside down world is what we're living in. You know, good is bad, bad is good. It's, you know, it's.
So in Texas, do you live anywhere near the main places or the main cities there?
Yeah.
Because I've been to Austin.
Okay.
And that was an interesting place.
Did you happen to go to South by Southwest in Austin?
No, didn't.
Okay. that's every March for about a week. They have bands from all over the world, but it's a big deal. Yeah, but you went at another time. Yeah, it's a music city. Austin is. It's a
Yeah.
lot of music, a lot of musicians there, you know, too. So yeah, it's a pretty city too. Pretty, but
Actually, I think it was now come to think, it was about 12 years ago.
yeah,
Yeah, but there were lots of bands on there. I remember that.
yeah, that could have been it. That could have been it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Austin, of all the cities here, yeah, has the most music and arts, as well. But Dallas it's just a corporate city, is what it is. It's business, just there's not a lot of good art communities or music here. And the
Yeah.
bands that do come through are like the hugely popular, bands. Those not the ones that kind of fly under the radar, or those don't come through too often. So yeah, yeah.
I
All
think
right, all
what
right.
I should have mentioned was, were those lights putting you off, by the way?
Oh, I noticed it a couple of times, but is it
I
are
was.
they like Christmas kind of lights, or what?
I'll show you what.
Oh,
It's all
okay.
my drums up there. Can you
Oh,
see?
is that what you have them on your drum? Yeah, show me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I noticed they were flickering, and uh, every once in a while they would have an effect kind of on the view,
Yeah.
but not in a bad way. Not in a bad way.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, how many sets do you have? How many?
I had about 7 sets, but I'm starting to get rid of them now.
Oh, are
Uh,
you? Okay.
yeah, but some I keep,
Yeah.
for obvious reasons, and I also need like two or three
Yeah.
for different gigs that I use, smaller gigs or larger gigs.
Okay. Okay. Well,
But
talk about that. Do you have any coming up? Any gigs scheduled?
well, I'm always out and about with the band. Yeah, just local, not traveling really now.
Okay. Okay.
It's like, oh, I'm too old for all that.
But I find that interesting what you just said, that you guys play the the Beatles tracks that were not the big hits.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's
And
what we do. So like I'm the Walrus and all those. Actually, the Beatles never played on stage.
yeah.
They played in the studio, and that was it. They played
Yeah,
a few when they did the rooftop thing.
yeah, yes, yeah,
Um, they did a couple of them there, but yeah,
yeah,
it seems to go down well because people have heard the records, but
yeah,
they've never heard bands playing it.
yeah,
But obviously, the younger bands, um, they they have all the suits and the wigs and everything. They're all playing all the early stuff,
yeah,
and it's brilliant. But we don't want to play that. We play other stuff that other bands aren't playing, because you need keyboards for stars.
yeah, yeah,
And so
right.
yeah,
Well,
but it,
I talked to a guy not long ago, and he said, the misnomer is that, people said the Beatles broke up, Yoko was the cause, and all this.
yeah,
And he said, really, what happened was once they got more into orchestrated recordings, and more than just a four-piece, and they needed the back, almost like a full orchestra, and to emulate that sound from the albums.
mm-hmm.
It wasn't. I mean, they couldn't do that on stage.
No,
The logistics of it and everything like that, and it costs too much, having that. So that was one of the things that kind of put a damper on it,
yeah,
you know, towards that, 69, 70, and that, they were getting more extravagant, but you couldn't really reproduce that. And then going on tour and bringing all that, with you, that was just, yeah, it wasn't gonna work.
yeah.
So
And when you think about the body of work
yeah,
of the Beatles,
right.
it's amazing. And then when they finished, they were still under the age of 30.
They were young, yeah, right.
Amazing, isn't it?
It is, and they were just like pumping out songs
Yeah.
constantly. I mean, John and Paul, just wonderful songwriters, I mean,
and George as well. And
oh, I'm glad you said that.
they wouldn't give him an inch,
I'm glad you said that because I'm a George fan. I think
Yeah.
he's my favorite
Yeah,
Beatle. Yeah, because I loved his solo material after the Beatles too,
yeah,
but during the Beatles, it was like you said, relegated to one song, maybe an album,
yeah,
and that wasn't fair. That really wasn't fair because he's a great songwriter. You
yeah.
know, like go ahead.
One of his songs is "I Me Me Mine."
Yeah, yeah,
and it was recorded by the Beatles, but Lennon didn't play on the session.
yeah.
Lennon was literally dancing around with Yoko in the studio
Was he?
while the others were recording it.
Yeah, yeah.
And a week after the recording, George packed in.
Wow. Yeah. Just a week. Just a
That
week.
was it.
Yeah.
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 Swan
Yeah.
song.
I know. I think my favorite is Something, that George wrote. Yeah. I remember I used to listen to my little transistor radio at night. I remember hearing that at 69, it was hearing that on the radio. And then Peter, Paul, and Mary Leaving on a Jet Plane.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember those two from that time period.
Right.
Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful time. Wow. Okay. Well, Terry, I want to thank you for your time
Oh,
again.
thank you.
And it's been very enjoyable. Tell Brian that
I will.
Thank him for referring and you and everything. And
he was on this morning. Actually, he rang me up about 10 o'clock.
Oh, was he? Okay. And you said I'm talking to Greg later.
I did actually. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. And I'll also message him too. Said,
Oh, please do. Yeah.
Yeah. Said we survived it. No. All right.
Anyway, thanks for that. It was enjoyable. I'll speak soon.
All right. Will do. Stay in touch. All right.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye. Bye bye for now, Terry.
Bye bye.
Bye.